In my heart, wherever I wander, memories enshrine and lead all my hopes and aspirations, all my longings rose aside. Everlasting bonds surround us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana time's unfolding, more and more my destiny to reach lasting splendor that the years have brought to me. All the ashes of thy glory, oh, the long, long night has passed. Oh, rise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, rise triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in Tongue, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is, Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed to. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and come in the back here and lie down. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. And the people come in the room and so on. The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know but we things in Buxton don't play with we. So definitely, if you want to come and you may be having a wedding or whatever, and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're gonna be drunk. We got too much road accidents, so you definitely want to come, drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have your sink, you have your dining area, you have the bed. This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting. Also, for those persons who are traveling in from overseas, you want a nice, cozy place out of town, then Club Twilight, call them up, look them up on social media. They have their own Facebook page, and ensure that you come up the side and have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's it.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T and W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Ramveld Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T and W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
To Amsterdam, I think I only get 3 calories. You see, when the function finish, right? The egg ball keep them people in it. Oh my goodness. And it's like, after we got whole tub of sauce, it's like, let's have a little. Mr. Amsterdam, everything shine. I haven't gotten to taste anything because, like I said, I just eat 3 calories. Everybody complimented the stuff. It was tasty. All of them munch down and come back and load up. Certain places you can go and get proper stuff, but uh, the sauce is more than enough. I appreciate the variety options.
At Lou's Kitchen, it's no idle boast. Call us for the best in Creole food. 653-3205. Lou's, the original Creole chef.
Hi, hello, good morning. How y'all do? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. What's going on? How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How are you feeling this morning? How energized are you? Share the live is 7:15 and like everybody's still in bed. The numbers don't look right here at all. So y'all get it right. Fix it. Doctor, fix it. Y'all fix it. Let me say, Lou's Kitchen is back on the now. And so this Friday we're doing a mixed meat cook-up to start with. Mixed meat cook-up. And as a bonus, you're gonna get some fried fish. Yes, so check us out this Friday at Lou's Kitchen, sideline down, Buxton North Side. You can order, we ain't delivering. Right? Unless it's in Buxton. We ain't delivering, we can't deliver to Georgetown, so you could order. Good. How you get it is a matter for you. Right. It's tedious to deliver to Georgetown, especially with the traffic jam these days. It's really, really tedious. And so we're hoping that we're going to be able to build our clientele this time on the East Coast. And so that we can make it quick, make it snappy. Yeah, the folks on the East Coast know the motorcycle delivery boys and so on that they can call quickly to drop off something for them and thing. Right? So it's mixed meat cook-up this Friday with some fried fish and whatever else extras you will get. So you can place your order. Send your folks to support Lou's Kitchen. Good? I always tell y'all, anyhow, I always tell y'all, how y'all been? Y'all share with me. I want to know how you've been. I'm getting the impression, and I continue to get the impression, that people are still hurting. A lot of people are still hurting following the results of the elections. And as a result of that hurt, they are taking it out of each other. They are basically hurting others, because pain will give pain, if I can say that. Hurt will give hurt. And so the question is, have you been able to offload? Have you had the opportunity to speak your mind? Have you had the opportunity to sit and really unburden yourself with somebody else, perhaps, even if it is just a listening ear? Because as I move around and I listen to people and I look at the news and I see people in my community, and I listen to my colleagues, as we will say, partners in arms, who've been involved in this electoral process and so on, a lot of people are finding it difficult to cope. A lot of people are finding it difficult to cope. I'm not saying that I haven't been impacted or affected, but maybe I patted myself on my shoulder. I'm doing better than many. I'm doing better than many. We are seeing lots of falling out taking place. And so today in particular, I want to give you the opportunity to talk. Let's talk about the elections in general terms, how it has impacted you, how it has affected you. What are your moving forward plans? What do you think you need to do to move forward? What can we do as a community, as a group, to move forward? Right? How can we deal with this hurt? How can we comfort others, and so on and so forth? That's the kind of discussion I want us to have this morning. And that kind of discussion will call for a lot of time. And so, unorthodox here again, I'm going to open up the line. Right? I'm opening up the line so you can call at will and we can talk at will. There are other things which I'll be talking about when you are not on the line. Right? But feel free to call and let's talk about this election or the immediate past elections and how you feel, how you see yourself moving forward, and so on and so forth. I see a lot of concerns out there, and I think I think conversation is a form of therapy. We can't keep this thing pent up, because when we keep this thing pent up, it makes us sick. Old people say, you store everything by your stomach. It becomes cancerous. Good. So let's talk. You have the freedom to call as you will, and we can talk about it. In the meantime, share the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. I don't like the numbers I'm seeing. I don't know what's wrong here this morning. Why the numbers are so small? Let me see. Let me ensure all the platforms. Yes. Here comes TV, of course, up in front with the numbers. Yeah. The numbers are not hot this morning, but I know just around that 7:30, 8 o'clock time, the numbers will start rising. But in the meantime, you can share. You can share, you can share, you can share. Let me tell you an idea I have for moving forward. I think I mentioned it before, and I am saying to you that as we sit here, I am in an advanced stage because it's something I conceptualized like 2-3 years ago. An economic empowerment group, and I'm calling it BEES, BEES, and I'll tell you why I chose BEES, that acronym BEES. When you look at the bees and the way they work together, right? When the app is Facebook, explainer, so I could learn this morning. We're going on with Facebook that is causing our numbers to look this small this morning. So bees, BEES, Black Economic Empowerment Society, Black Economic Empowerment Society. And y'all don't tell me it sounds racist, don't tell me it sounds ethnic. It is specific to Black people. Good. The Black Economic Empowerment Society. Note it's a society. And I deliberately use that acronym because bees, when you look at bees, the way they work together, they labor together, they benefit together, they share the spoils together. That is what I would like to see happening among us Afro-Guyanese, us Black folks. Caller, you're on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much for your consideration and opening up the line. I'm actually hearing a bit of an echo. Yes. Okay. Yes. So thanks once again for giving us the opportunity to vent, as you've so intuitively indicated. I, it. It's been tough, and I'm not even living in Guyana, right? And this election and the results and the fallout have been challenging to sort of witness. I My heart breaks for Guyana because I think that we were at a turning point, and unfortunately, I think we took the wrong fork in the road. And by we, I'm referring to my fellow Black Guyanese. I think, unfortunately, we failed to distinguish between a positive, progressive future for a short term, for short term, whatever you want to call it, satisfaction. Anyway, it is what it is. It's time to move on. I love the idea of the Black Empowerment Initiative. I love the fact that you're taking the inspiration from bees because we all know how they work, the work ethic that they have. And I want you to share how us Guyanese in the diaspora in particular can assist, whether it's financially, it's through our time, mentorship, whatever it is. Okay, because we have to keep going. It's tough. We're down, but we're not out. We've got to keep fighting. If you love Guyana, you cannot give up. Okay, thank you very much. And great program as always. Thank you.
Thank you much for your call and your encouragement and your frankness. Right? I always, over the years, have been cautioning us. We have to understand, we have to develop the habit of looking at long-term results and gains rather than short-term satisfaction. I like to talk about delayed gratification. And it would seem that a lot of our people didn't even grasp that concept for all the years we've been talking about it. Because I'll never forget the report that says that a young man, caller, you know the order, mute and wait, please. A young man had the, I would say, temerity or braveness to say to one of our campaigners in Bobby's, I rather $40,000 now than wait for a piece of land. I rather $40,000 now than wait for a piece of land. That thing is so instructive. It is so instructive. It is moderation, but it is instructive. It shows where the minds of our young people are. Do we blame them or do we blame ourselves as parents, as relatives, as elders, as teachers, as community activists, and so on, for not imparting that knowledge to them and building their self-esteem to the extent that $40,000 could be resisted? And I'm saying that through bees, like the sister asked, how those in the diaspora can assist. As time goes on, you're going to get all of the information. But I can tell you that your time would be welcome, your education would be welcome, Your financial resources would be welcome. Your skills would be welcome because it is all encompassing. And like I said, you are going to get that information as we proceed. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to sit here and be spelling out everything. We are in the process of developing our social media page. We've already done the core values, the vision, and so on and so forth. So eventually you're going to get that information. And there's an application process to membership, and there are two questions in that form which should inform you of where we're going. The questions are: one, how do you expect this organization, this group, to help you? Number one. And number two, how do you see yourself contributing to helping this organization and its members and the wider society? So it's a twofold thing. It's not a one-way street. Okay, we'll continue to talk about that. And remember, I want you to talk really and truly about how you're feeling following the elections. One of the, she endorsed it, but she didn't say. One of the other things I would like you to suggest is, how do we move forward as a people? How do we move forward from this quote unquote upset as a people? Caller, you can unmute and speak.
Yeah, good morning, good here. What I call it, it's so good. But when you look at a lot of people out there jumping off ship, you gotta leave them. You gotta study if they were really with the ship. Because if this the first little sandbank that the ship jump on and I see all of them jumping and going the way, we don't know if they were true. Because all right, look, with our thing what we did doing. We didn't mind that people ain't coming out there and stand up with us. We were steadfast in the protest of 4+ years. Don't matter what insults or remarks were being hurled at us, we stood our ground there, and I don't see why. Because of what happened, we all know, a true thinking person know that the election was being taken away from us at GCOM. And that is why I keep saying that in order for us to move forward in this country with any type of election, general election, that is the election that look into the populate of Guyana, we must first have a new GCOM, a completely new GCOM, a GCOM that from the maids right up, you got to get new people because all our elections, all our defacement, disgrace is being done at GCOM. I could remember 2020, after the 2020 election, this was the same type of thing President Granger faced. And now with this leader, it is the same thing. And I believe that we should start to behave, they should behave as adults and sit down. They mean that according to Minister Jordan, they don't have any sense of general reasoning. Because if they were to sit down and implore themselves and they had general knowledge of who they really are, what the party is, and what GCOM is, and they put all in a thing and pick out all the bad things and the party. When you look for simple things, now if you got 12 chairs, you can't put 5 people to sit down on 12 chairs. So I don't know why all of them is so annoyed of who has gone into parliament. Who gone into parliament? We got to be out there and show up. Look what WPA did, and it's only Dr. Hines alone going to parliament. Dr. Hines should have said, well, the last election, what should we get? But he's still hold on and he's there. And people got to start behaving as play school children, not even nursery school. Play school children and get the acts together and stop making the party look stupid. And I want us to know that our party, it is not foolish. We have the vanguard party. And don't matter what others try to do, we are still that pillar of a party. So all who want to run and go, pack up your bags and go quick. And let we the stalwarts remain and build our party, the People's National Congress. Bye bye.
Thank you for your call. Quite a mouthful there from Rondo. But I want to all right, we got another call coming. Call you on, good morning. I want to all right, call you on, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and good morning to all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Randall, come in front of the bench, come in front of the class right now. I'm going to stop, use the word, I'm giving credit to where credit belongs to. Can you hear me clearly? Because sometimes people don't hear me. Can you hear me, sir? All right, good, thank you. Let me read something first because God said, in everything you do, acknowledge me, acknowledge Him. And this is from my party people and Congress people and supporters. I'm taking it from Isaiah 40, verse 21. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. My God, my God. Why art thou forsaken me? But nevertheless, if thou is your will, let it be. Abby Norton represent the scripture I am reading. Thank you, Abby Norton. Abby Norton, wait upon the Lord. Abby Norton could have run away and resigned so many years. He set a foundation for us. What belongs to you, you will receive it. Stop destroying what you did not build. Abby Norton could have destroyed what he did not build. But he stayed and he continued to make that foundation strong. Let me remind my black brothers and sisters the word of God again. Whatever you shall earn and receive, you will receive it before your eye close. I'm talking from experience. When the man tell Moses, you will be the next one to lead us out, Moses couldn't believe him. He said, thank you, Lord, for making me live what I pray for see the person who will lead us out of the hands of bondage. David Hines have a right to be there. God's word have to fulfill. Abby Norton did not take us to the promised land. David Hines will take us to the promised land. My God, my God. It's a reason why David Hines is there. I always talk about it. God sent David Hines and Abby Norton. You guys did not believe me. And you see what David Hines had? Joshua and Moses. Let me say this here too, because it offends Flash Garden. Mistress, it's no disrespect. Mrs. Cathy used a statement. She said, I credit Mohammed, oh God of mercy, because he run a good campaign and people want what? New leadership and all that thing. Oh, where were Mohammed when Jack Dio, he brother called low life twice? It's black people like myself stand up and condemn that. Mrs. Cathy use. Where were Mohammed when them wicked Catholic supporters go and kill them black children? Where were Mohammed who said, Ali, my Muslim brother, don't do that. Give those people them justice. Talk to your people them. Where were Mohammed when I'm killing two angry boys at Flash Garden? Still remember that brutal killing, and the thing is that they mark X for them two black brothers. Where were Mohammed for said, those two boys got to get justice. Where were Mohammed? Where were Mohammed? When the same wicked Coleman with 19 charge send them people brought our black woman house because she refused. Where was Mohammed to say, no, you cannot do that, leave her alone. I could go on and on. But Miss Cathy Hughes, oh, don't do that to black people, man. Mohammed didn't get sanctioned because of good things he done, or he's a loving young man for all. Mohammed got sanctioned because of what he did, criminal activities. Then he turned around and pay black woman and black man for capture black people to turn them into slave on the 4th of September. And you're giving Mohammed credit? Let me go now and save the rest for tomorrow. Thank you for your time, my brother.
Thank you for your call. I was saying, I was about to address Rhonda's contribution in terms of people leaving the party and people going about their business and so on and so forth. You know, one of the things, we can be brutally harsh to ourselves. But sometimes the question is whether or not we can be brutally honest to ourselves, right? Being tough on each other is not necessarily being honest with each other. And I think in a lot of these discourses, we are not honest with each other. It's 12 seats. It's only 12 seats. Everybody can't occupy 12 seats. That's a fact. That is truth. Who then gets to occupy 12 seats? Who will be the chosen dozen? Right? That's the question. And that is where hard decisions have to be made. How do you arrive at who should occupy the few seats that we have? I have a formula. My formula starts like this. If you were in the National Assembly 5 or 10 years prior, you don't get to go back. If you were in the National Assembly 5 or 10 years prior, you don't get to go back unless the laws of the land dictate that you go back. In accounting, we got something we call first in, last out. And they got last in, first out. It's stock valuation. Right? They use it as a guide to stock valuation. Let me take this call and I'll come back and we'll talk about that. Call you on, good morning.
Good morning. Just what this legend number. So people Mohammed want to be president. People call to me.
Caller, do you have your phone on speaker? Caller, do you have your phone on speaker?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Proceed.
Listen, Mohammed asked to be president. Everybody used to look at it, take a paper politics. People calling from this man, the candidate, the one who to lead. It's like Saul becomes Paul. If he was bad, but if he was to them, guys, you know when they end up in a video, but they live from the practice. This is not, in this country, it's God working out things. I need to tell you. I just pick up European people, but I don't like hearing certain things. So people blame Mohammed and Mohammed this and Mohammed. Mohammed is very easy. Iran, people blame them, then stop you or a car. So if the on the wrong things in here and got to be difficult because it's God using here now. Let him don't listen and do then because you work on up to stay. But people gotta come after this man back to this and he'll talk.
Caller.
Thank you.
Caller, don't go. I want to ask you a question. You don't need to tell me exactly, but the caller gone. By voice, the caller sounds like an elderly person. And I wanted to engage that person as an elderly person. Good? But it would seem as though the opportunity has escaped us. But we're talking, I'm saying my formula would have been, if you spend 5 or 10 years in parliament, you don't get to go back. So immediately those who have been in parliament before, representing the party, you know that you can't go back. The choice is then yours. Do you stay and mentor the newbies in parliament? Or do you cut and run? Because at the end of the day, that will tell us the quality of person you are. Some people might have genuine reasons to cut and run. Others may not. Good. But if you were to sit with the party leadership and say, listen, so long as I'm not going back to parliament, I will have to leave because of X or Y reason. And I'm prepared to do it quietly, that's another thing. But throwing tantrums and leaving is another thing too. Let me explain this. I don't have all the knowledge in the whole world. I'm not the brightest son of the sun. I never aspired to be. But I think I'm one of the realest person in terms of facing reality. And here's my reality. There are a lot of people who are in politics, not necessarily to serve the people of this country, but to self-actualize, to achieve for themselves, to take another box, to say, well, I did this, and I did that, and I did the other, and I did the next. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, basic food, clothing, and shelter, companionship, etc., etc. But right at the top there is self-actualization, in that you will achieve so much, and then you get to the point where you want to better your better self. I call it that. Right? And so you move from walking barefoot to walking with shoes, to getting a cycle, to getting a motorized cycle, to getting a motor car, to getting a Prado, to getting a whatever, and you're up there. But in all of that achievement and that visibility and that popularity, you do not believe that you should make space for somebody to come behind you and achieve, maybe not as much, but some amount. You don't think you need to make space to them. And so it becomes your God-given right that since you have tasted, I would say, the sweet of being in the National Assembly, and you know what duty-free concession to acquire a quote-unquote top-of-the-line motor vehicle is. You know what somebody paying your internet bill is. You know what getting maybe an allowance of transportation and hotel stay and whatever research and whatever the other benefits. You know what those things are. You believe that you are the only human being on the face of the earth who must continue to enjoy it until you die. So the minute the leadership says, you can't go back to parliament, well, to hell with you. I ain't got no time with you in this party. The other set of good for nothing crashes. I gone. And in most instances, it's not a case of you going into retirement. It's not you going into the background and all right, so I'm back. Good. So you believe, I was saying, it's not like you're going in retirement or you are pulling back and nurture the newbies, the next generation, the next set of people who will have to carry this political fight. But since I can't get it over here, I'm going to cross the aisle and see where I can get over there. And so I've gone over there. And part of going over there, I got to criticize where I came from. I got to make them out to be the devil's workshop where I came from. I got to destroy my own. Destroy a foundation that I contributed to. I got to do that. Because it's the only way I will be accepted over there. I got a problem with that kind of politics. I have a problem with that kind of politics. And so I don't blame anybody for wanting to leave. People must know when the boats have come and when it has sailed. And when your boat sail, all you got to do is go into a corner and relax yourself or find another means of transportation. I like to make it personal. Professor David Hines has been chosen to go to the National Assembly on behalf of the WP. A lot of people believe that I have worked hard enough to go to the National Assembly. I myself think so. A lot of people are throwing tantrums. Every day people come and say, bye, why you go to Parliament? Why the evidence gone ahead of you? Guess what? I will not resign from WP. I will not cuss in the public about WP. Because my mission is bigger than WPA. My mission is more than going to Parliament. The political party might be a vessel, a medium by which I can get to do things for my society. Because at the end of the day, that's my mission, to make this society a better place. And so listen, for 5 years, David Hines will be in Parliament. It means I don't have parliamentary responsibility. I can utilize some of my energies and channel it in a place where I think there's need for my energy, and that is economic empowerment of our people. So I've given birth to BEAS, the Black Economic Empowerment Society. I ain't cuss out nobody. I ain't throw no tantrum. I ain't resign from no party. I'm redirecting some of my energies. And when I can sit at the end of 5 years, 2 years, a year, as a matter of fact, months, and I'll tell you why I think months, and look at the growth of my people, I can pat myself on the shoulder and say, hey, you have achieved. You have done something more than going to Parliament. The nation might not see you for that. But do I need a nation to see me for that? To get satisfaction out of what I'm doing? No. And that is another problem that we have with a lot of people, political activists and political leaders and so on. Unless they can be on the national platform, unless they can be in the forefront of the news and television and so on, they ain't doing nothing. That's what they tell themselves. But imagine that single mother, that I'll be able to partner with others to provide a source of income to. Imagine how she sees you, how she sees your work, how her children sees your work, children see your work. And imagine you looking at them move from a point of groveling, a point of mere existence, a point of buying a quarter pint oil, to being able to really take care of themselves economically and send children to school and ensure they get an education so that they improve the lot of the family over time and so on. Imagine the satisfaction you get from that. This body left the party, the body left the party, the other body left the party because they work hard for the party. And they have not been rewarded this time around. But did you get rewards before? Were people left out of parliament when you went to parliament? Did they leave or did they stick around to continue to hold the party together? A lot of people find themselves making the decisions they make and behave the way they behave because they saw politics as the only medium to getting to where they would like to get to economically and otherwise. A lot of our people who are in politics are simply not politics. They are either regional councillor, village councillor, representative on this body or that body, or in this committee and that committee, and so on, and they're getting a stipend or an income and so. And because of that, they treat it as though it will last until eternity. And a lot of people never got up from their laurels to say, I need alternative sources of income. So when this political rug is pulled from under me, I will survive. I will survive. I always tell y'all, I believe in self-employment. From the time I left school, even before I left school, I pursued self-employment. And so no politician, no political party going to determine whether I eat tomorrow or not. Yes, sir? None of them could determine whether I eat tomorrow or not. I mean, those in government, yes, they might use the law or try to use the law to oppress and humbug me and so on and so forth. But outside of that, political parties are not responsible for my happiness. And I think our political activists have to start to adapt that attitude, and our political leaders have to start to impart that knowledge to them and encouragement to them. Listen, politics is not the wherewithal. You all must get alternative employment. Being a parliamentarian is not a full-time job. They tell you that every day. You are not required to turn up to 84 or do 85 as a parliamentarian. You can be a parliamentarian and you can hold down at 8 to 5. Or even if you don't want to hold on at 8 to 5, you could start something, self-employment. You can invest in something. And so you don't have to appear desperate. You don't have to be desperate. The other thing people need to understand, and I will forever be guided by the behavior and the teachings of Brother U.C. Quana. Becoming a parliamentarian doesn't make you a fashion icon. It doesn't mean you have to live above your means. And some of our folks, when they become parliamentarians, they wear the best, they look for brand names and so on. And let me ask you all a question. I mean, Arby Norton used to ask the same question of Jagview. Show me how your income affords you these quote-unquote luxuries. I want to ask some of the parliamentarians, show me how your income from parliament affords you the lifestyle that most of you adopt. Because I'm positing this morning, that leads to a lot of our parliamentarians and representatives of the people finding themselves in compromising situations. And when you compromise yourself, then you don't have the strength, the freedom to speak out against the ills that you should be speaking out as the people's representative. So it's not a problem of who leaves. It's why they're leaving. And it's how they're leaving. I see a man left the party yesterday. Well, two men left the party yesterday, chairman and a councillor in Georgia, a Georgetown councillor. And the councillor say here, I leaving. But I leaving the seat at the council that I got as a candidate for the party. So this person is saying to us, I want the benefit, but I don't want the association. And I have to hold on to that benefit while I leave the association, because perhaps I don't have an alternative to receiving benefits or sustenance. That is not cool. If I cut in ties with you, I cut in ties with you. Imagine the party's chairman saying, I leave him with immediate effect. It has to be really, really bad. There's a terrible fallout. Y'all piss me off. I leave him right now. I cut in ties. You mean to tell me this ties you've been building all the years, twice a party chairman and so on, there's no love left? Well, I'm going to give y'all a 1 month notice as if it's an employment. I'm sure I would want to assume that the party was providing a stipend or something to the extent. I give y'all a month to put this together, man. And then I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave quietly too. If I leave WPA now, y'all won't even know. It can take y'all a while to realize, wait, Kiraki left WPA. It might be a whole electoral cycle for y'all to realize. Because I ain't going to be jumping and Camp Stevie and say, I'm no longer a member and I'm no longer associated with the Working People's Alliance. Them as a set of crooks and criminals. I want nothing to do with them. They're selfish and so on and so forth. No. Don't cross the bridge that you cross. I owe a lot of my presence, public presence, to the WPA. And the WPA owes a lot of its public presence to me. If they choose to cost me, it's fine and good, but I ain't gonna cost them, right? And so people, you're free to ask. I don't necessarily have to answer. How about that? For me, you are free to ask. I don't necessarily have to answer. That's the thing with the democracy, you know, right? Like they say, consult. I could consult with you. It doesn't mean I have to take whatever you said during our consultation, right? Understand that? Good. But since you're asking and you would like to know, no, I have not left the WP. I have not left the WP. And if you're a keen listener, you would have heard me say before, I ain't gonna left the WP. What I will do is divide my energies. Because there's no use for all of my energies in the WPA for the next 5 years. Or maybe the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And so I don't have to dedicate all of my energies there. I have to focus on me, my economic well-being, the well-being of my family, and I also want to focus on empowering our people. And so the energy could be divided. right? That energy could be divided, and that's my intention. I was telling you about BEES, the Black Economic Empowerment Society. Remember, the lines are still open. You know, I stopping out from calling. One of the things I want to do for those who choose to be members of BEES is give them a sense of belonging. Who am I? They must know who they are. Who am I? So I'm going to be organizing educational sessions, whether it has to do with history, whether it has to do with economics, whether it has to do with individualism. But our members will have to have a sense of identity, who we are. When you know who you are, where you come from, and where you intend to go, and so on, it makes it difficult, more difficult for people to bamboozle you. Right? It would make it much, much more difficult for people to bamboozle you. I want to strengthen our people like that. Financial literacy, I want to strengthen our people through financial literacy. Income generation. Income generation. I want to show them how to generate income. I have already reached out to a couple of persons I know through my politics, or I got to know through my politics. A couple of persons I've been providing support to, business-wise and other, through networking. And I've already reached out and said, listen, this is where I want to dedicate some of my energy. This is the part I see you playing. And these are the benefits that you're likely to get in return. And so already I got people lined up. Or some persons are starting to get in line to be part of this empowerment. Call it your life. Hold the line, please. Everybody's playing with us this morning, but I ain't for the play. I ain't got no problem with that. Sometimes you can't take life too seriously. It's going to affect your heart. Call it, you can proceed. Go ahead.
For an amendment to the Constitution to give parliamentarians a little bit more freedom for them to do the job, a semi autonomy. Because if in this situation here, where we have parliamentarians are ministers and parliamentarians are directly affiliated with political parties in such a way where they only get chosen to go to parliament if those political parties that they are affiliated with give them permission to do so, or get whatever it is. That's the only way they go to parliament. But I think that parliamentarians should be so autonomous that they could still be party affiliated, but they should be able to run for their own elections, get their own votes. They should be have the ability to earn their own votes, and those votes should be from the constituency wherever they're from, and they should be solely to represent those constituencies, and not the interest of particular parties. So whenever it comes to blame or responsibility, their responsibility are, like I said, they're solely to responsibilities are solely to those constituency, the people. So whenever they're going to whenever they're going to parliament and they're going to put forward bills, it's going to reflect what the people wants, what the constituency wants, not what the political part, not the political party's agenda. So if they have to get blamed for any situation, they will be blamed by the constituency. They will be voted in and out by the constituency, not the political parties. So in that case, I think everybody would be represented, and I think that's more like representation of the People's Act. We need changes to get things done the correct way, and everybody will be happy, will be pleased for what is being done for them. Or if they're not pleased or happy for what is being done for them, they could always vote their parliamentarians out. Thank you. That's my say.
Thank you, caller. What the caller is talking about, what I'm hearing here is first party post. What we do here in Guyana is proportional representation PR, right? We contest election as a list. We don't contest elections as candidates, individual candidates. If you listen, I think Jamaica, they do first party post because every candidate has to basically win their constituency to get into parliament. I think Trinidad might be the same thing. Perhaps Barbados. But Guyana changed, as far as I remember, after independence, of course, to this thing about proportional representation. And let me say this: Guyana has been a corrupt place for quite a long time. From my understanding, the first instance of people winning an election or cheating at elections, it was the PPP in one of the early elections in the 1960s. I think the constituency might have been somewhere on the East Bank, right? Let the political historians tell you all about that. I don't know too much about it. But my understanding is that it was the PPP that attempted to steal a constituent elections during that time. But at the end of the day, we moved away from that first party post to PR. And PR is what we have right now. Give me a minute. I think somebody's at the gate. Nobody else is there to answer them right now. So give me a minute. Good. So yes, local government work in the NDC collecting garbage. But I'll tell you something. I mean, you can't tell people to work and so on, but well, when I will not get there just now, or I will not look out just now, my heart came to my chest or to my mouth. I see a man with mass on the bridge. Yeah, I gotta be careful how people come into work at people's place. Don't come mass up. At least a man like me. Are you hearing me now? And are you hearing me clearly? I think you should. Hello, is there anybody there? Is my audio better now? Talk to me. I can tell you it's not me so much. It gotta be the internet. All right, so let's play some voice notes and then we come back to me talking.
Good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to your viewers. You know,
all right, so even the voice note is bad, right?
One time A
So
PLC coalition said
y'all bear with me. I think I can fix it. I think I can fix it quickly. It happens. It's technology, you know.
I won't call his name, but he said he had conversion udrong.
Good. Let's hope I got it right. Can you hear me now? The voice still speeding up. Good. I hope you can hear me clearly now. God, let me know if you can hear me clearly. I think you can hear me clearly. Good. Right. So what was I saying? Getting big. What was I saying? Somebody give me a reminder now. I don't forget why they're talking to you all about when I got up. But I know I said when I got up and I went to my door and I looked out, I saw a man with a mask on my bridge. And my heart jumped. As I said, my heart come to my mouth. And when I looked out, it was the garbage collectors. Y'all can't come to people place with mask, man. Or y'all gonna come to people place with mask. Y'all want to kill people like me, weak hearts like me. Huh? Don't do it. Good. Right, but there's some issue I was talking to you about before I left. And I sincerely can't remember. But if you all remember, y'all gonna let me know. I said let me play some voice notes. Let me play a voice note at least, and then see what happens after.
Morning, Brother Kidaki. Good morning, viewers. Morning, all right, King Guyanese. This is a message for all them engineers and young engineers and unexperienced engineers. That's why you see most of the contract that these young engineers they work on. That's why all of them are failing. We have a questionable engineering that I'm still. Amawa was paid for his exam at University of Guyana online. He was paid. You understand me? The ex-slave Carter Jordan. There's a man was saying he's gonna replace Indar coming up to this election. And I know the reason why they replace this guy, because this guy is a stupid guy. This guy, all he walk and talk about building roads and building this, you know, have no experience or nothing. Nothing Papa don't come out his mouth at all. This in this ex-slave Carter Jordan. And so now we see the reason why these people are incompetent. I wonder if it's only he alone or more of them that paid to write the exam. They write the exam online. Because the slave catcher we got in the Namsele, we know that for sure. Because he owed the fellow money up to now who wrote his exam at the University of Guyana. That's why this guy is so incompetent. All the project that he do lost local government election all mashed up. So y'all see, this is the people that we have as engineering Guyana. And he said you're gonna replace Indar on this election. And I see this man went on the list more or less where we replace Indar. So this is what the PPP do to them, act them slave catchers. He get beat so bad in the Namstel. So bad he get beat. So he can't even show his face. He was embarrassed. He made and cost up. Some people that he give money to and he vote for him. Well and customer, but I tell the people that they should record him. You understand? But the people are lapsed. You understand me? So this is how these people getting by in this country. Because if the president of this country, he can't find a university that he get his doctorate degree from, something wrong. You understand me? These people that run in this country, we can see the blunt of it this time. And we still support them. And they win. We can see the blunt of them. They better come home to roost before it get too late, because too late shall be the cry. Because this thing we see going on in Guyana don't start already. The people them cannot run a country. The people are running down the country. Take care of all our patrimony out of this country. Get this country in this dilemma up to this date. Our Guyanese people have to be going through all of this. And the foreigners are coming and take away everything from our country. You see, y'all vote for them back again. They rigged the election. They rigged the election so bad, you understand me? So that we couldn't come very close. But there's a God above, you know. There's a God above, here, there, and everywhere. So all what they tell us them have done. God is watching them, right? And God gonna be putting a serious honor on them this time here. God vexed with them. Vexed with them so bad. And you come back to the ex-slave catcher. He gets so beat so bad in the Namsel. That's how they use him last local government election. They give him all the dirty grounds work to do. And they put in a chairman there, won't do nothing. An Indian woman as a chairman from Blankimore, won't do nothing. So they use him again. Well, they use his time, but he get nothing for them. Nothing for them he gets. So the guy is a bad lucky guy, very bad lucky guy. You understand me? So kudos to the Aboriginal again. You see? We have enough snake in our camp, man. There are plenty snake in our camp. Snake here, there, and everywhere. And you, Mr. Norton, thank you for what you have done. Big up yourself. Y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah, thank you for that voice. So I see Mr. Jordan is saying PR was actually pre-independence. In 1964, it was introduced. It was introduced at that 1964 election. And the rigging I'm talking about was in Houston. Now, a lot of people might say, go back to first past the post, where individuals contest, and so individuals are accountable, and individuals can get voted out, and so on and so forth. But if you look at this country, you're going to come to realize one thing. The individuals who will find themselves in the National Assembly and even in your local authority areas and so on and so forth will be, in my mind, well-connected individuals. And so they will be doing the bit of the rich and famous. Because elections call for money. You have to have money. Norton talks about a war chest. You got to have money to contest in these elections in Guyana now and even have a chance of winning anything. And so individuals most likely are going to find themselves getting rich political backers. The Mohammed's gone back some individuals. Remember, Amshel Mohammed was one of the contestants in the local government election. I think that would be in the Eccles-Ramsburg area. Right? Tom Jones contesting in Buxton. Gonna be a puppet of Ram Singh because Ram Singh got him money to back him. And so what you're going to find is a lot of faces in front, fronting a lot of, in many instances, dirty money and so on and so forth. So that in itself will present a challenge. Right? That in itself will present a challenge. What I would like to see is internally in the party, people contest, not on a list, but contest individually. So we're putting up no Norton slate and no third slate and no fourth slate and so on. Every party member must have an equal opportunity to contest to the positions available in the party hierarchy and so on and so forth. And there must be a quote unquote formula, if I can call it that, for people to go to parliament. So people know what the rules are, they know what the terms and conditions are that they're partaking in this process with. Not that we work the whole country, everybody, this party got 5 million people as members, and all of we gonna work to win the elections to go to parliament. And everybody, each of the 5 million is working with the expectation of going to parliament. And then when everybody can go to parliament, the party disintegrates because people are disaffected, people get jealous, people get angry, people feel slighted, and so on and so forth. Is it possible that even as you enter the election, it could be said to the membership, these are the person we are aiming to put in the National Assembly. This is our first tier, this is our second tier, this is our third tier. And so people know that they're working not necessarily for themselves, but for somebody that they believe in. Is that a solution to our problems? I don't know, I'm just proposing. Sometimes I just like to talk off the top of my head. Voice note.
Hi, Mr. Kanaki. A blessed good morning to you. It's just a brief thing I just want to talk about the election. I just want to say to you that I believe if you are to go like the blue by yourself, I believe a lot of people didn't go and vote because you are in there by yourself. I myself, I'm going to tell you the truth. So I believe that, yeah, think about it the next way around. The next time around, think about it and go by yourself.
Thank you for that voice note. That caller, that voice note is saying the WPA should go it alone next time around. Because a lot of persons might not have voted because the WPA wasn't going it alone. Right? I still maintain that if you want to unseat the PPP, and the evidence is there again, if you want to unseat the PPP from government, you might as well coalesce. Or as we like to say, you might as well collate, because it takes unity to remove that wickedness.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for that voice. So I see Mr. George is saying PI was actually pre-independence in 1964 it was introduced. I saw that was a voice note. It didn't make too much sense though. I don't know what was attempted. I see Henry Ford. I saying somebody is a waste just like the others. Oh, one is we talking to? I tell you already. I like clarity. When you are talking, ensure I know if it's directed to me or somebody else. Call you on.
That's a good one, but I want to make a comment. We are living at a time where we are not in slavery anymore. I mean, at least slavery was abolished, but there's a school of thought which say that we're still under mental slavery. But I'm one of those persons who are happy that I was born and living at a time where we are free from slavery. Because if we were still in slavery, and we have to depend upon this current politicians to free us from slavery, there's no way we would have been free. Based upon how these people are behaving, there is no way we would have been free from our colonial master. Or if these type of people were around in slavery, there's no way we need to come out of slavery. You know, these people are behaving. They have no spine, no fight, no temerity, they don't have the wherewithal to go the distance to fight for freedom. And we would have never been out of slavery. Now, I believe we're going to be in this doldrums for probably the next decade. We got to see a new breed of politicians rising up to take on the for black representation, not this current state, because for you to achieve things, you have that unity. But the past, what we are seeing is total selfishness. There's self. All of them is self. From the previous parliamentarians to the current group to this, they only went through this election thing as a gimmick, because not that they would have lost, they only get 12 seats, but they want 1,200 people who go in 12 seats. Everybody want to go in now because they're doing them and just to go in parliament. So the whole party don't resign. Everybody don't walk away and resign. So when you don't tell people, you don't come on a stage and you don't preach unity, you don't preach all manner of things, and then because you will get something, you resign. You will not a leader. People not don't believe you. People not believe the party in itself. So that is my contribution. We don't be in a doldrum because of these type of people. No loyalty, no spine, no nothing. So we got to depend upon a new generation of politicians, not this group of people that we have around. Thank you.
Thank you. The question is, how do you arrive at a new generation of politicians? If this group that you have around is not even sticking around to groom, set proper examples for the next generation, is how we are arriving at this next generation. Call you on. Good morning.
Morning, neighbor. Morning, viewers. Good morning. It's a sad situation in we can. And when we done vent we feelings and them kind of thing, we got to work it out. We got to work it out. The task get heavy for we got to acknowledge them. And we got to pick up the pieces and battle on. This way we got to show the strength. We got battle on. Plenty these things will show the ugly faces and things. But the good thing about it, when door closed, door is open. We just got to approach the challenges we continue to face with brothers who contribute, but weak out because they're in the feelings and all kind of thing and decide to, resign and all kind of thing. We like it. We like it, but seeing that it's part of we suffering little wounds and them things, let me understand as a people. Let me understand as a people that we got a mission. We got a mission. The task go a little more steep for we, but let we hold. Let me try we get on hold. Let me change little strategy. Let me hold. Especially when we come on programs and them kind of thing, was the encouragement. And so it's we story. And we got to ride with it, brothers and sisters. We got to ride with it. Let me support that we won't let we move forward. Little more will happen to we is we torn for stuff we lose. All we for blame. So let all we hold on and let we drive we won't let we want to fight them demons. We could fight them. You could fight them. Let me tone it down a little and strategize and treat them ones with representative in parliament like God. This is what we gotta do. Treat them like God. Get them the urge for work. Blessed love, everyone. Take care.
Thank you for that call. I don't know about treating anybody like God. I know about holding people accountable. And it's part of the problem we have in these societies. We have treated our political representatives like God. And so they believe they can do what they want, how they like, when they like, how they like, and still get the privilege of representing us. Me in the Pondo, I will not encourage anybody to be on that. We have to hold them accountable. We have to demand more from them. But we have to support them as well. But do I give you blind support? No, you can't get blind support, because if I give you blind support, then I am enabling you and your nonsense. I will support you, but you have to prove that you're deserving of my support. Me supporting you blindly. Somebody asked a question earlier, if diasporan Guyanese will be allowed to be part of bees. Yes, diasporan Guyanese will be part of bees. You will get the opportunity to be part of bees. You've been exposed to a country unlike ours, or situations unlike ours. And so I'm sure that there is something you can bring to the table. I'm sure there's some amount of guidance you can give to us. Some of you are retired professionals, some of you are active professionals. I'm sure you can guide us to which international organization we can turn to get help as part of this Economic Empowerment Trust. So yes, you will be part of the organization. You're Guyanese, man. And some of you can very well benefit from what the organization will be helping. Remember those two questions. What can you do to help, and what help do you expect? So yes, all are involved, and all of us are going to be consumed, whether we like it or not. See, somebody ask also, oh, you are going to complain for the next 5 years? I am not a complainer. I highlight what is wrong, and I also work to change it. Some years ago, I recognized that the voters list is a problem in this country, and I started work to change it. I started protest. Some years ago, I recognized that in the communities, African Guyanese communities, the roads weren't being fixed and drainage weren't being fixed and so on and so forth. And I started to highlight it with my camera and my voice. I've met some residents in communities and talked with them and encouraged them and went out with protests for them and so on. So I don't complain, so. I don't complain, so. I highlight, but I also take action to fix. And that is what I'm encouraging you to do. Don't just complain. Take action. Don't cause the darkness alone. Light the candle. You could cause the place dark, this sun's a place dark. Why y'all got this place so dark? But here's a candle. Let's light it together. Some of you going to shelter it from the wind, and some of us going to hold it, and we're going to walk and see together. Voice note.
Kadaki, blessings and good morning to you, my brother. Blessings to listeners from the diaspora, listeners from the four corners of the globe. Kadaki, the outcome of the election determined the American influence, the Yankee influence. Yankee influence is not a fair influence. But there is a part in the Bible. I believe that there is a God. And I believe in the Bible. There is a part in the Bible, Proverbs 28:10. It tells you, whosoever calls the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. Karaki, something just not right. Something just not adding up. The 2020 election, the American wanted was to sanction Mr. The president there, no, who was there before, Mr. Granger. They wanted was to sanction him because they find that it was not legit. But the observers observed that the election 2025 was not free and fair. But you continue to install something that was not free and fair. Kakaraki, I would like you to explain that to me, because if something not free and fair, it can't be right. And why you allow it? Why you allow it? Karaki, I will listen off here.
Listen to that voice note. Let me say this. I said it before. I said it early in the week. I noticed you were missing for a few days. Up to yesterday, somebody was asking about your well-being. Let me see that. If you know the deck is stacked against you, you could choose to gamble with a stacked deck, or you could choose to upturn the table and let them get a new deck. And this question is also answering somebody who's asking if I acknowledge that mistakes were made by APNU. We chose to, or our leaders, because some of us just follow and support as we usually do. As somebody said, treat them like God and think they got all the wisdom in the world and so on. We chose to play with a stacked deck. We knew the deck was stacked. But many of us were convinced that to not play at all, or to play with a stacked deck, many of us were convinced that to play with a stacked deck is better than playing, or not, is better than not playing at all. Because we will save some space. We will keep some space. And I'm saying no. Like I said earlier, that's a mistake we made, and that's a mistake it seems as though we want to make again, because nobody has started fighting for the fixing of the electoral system, but people talking about preparation for next local government elections. So it's better to play with a stacked deck than not play at all. But I will tell you this. It is best to turn the table that has a stacked deck so nobody could play. And so the person is asking me, how do I see us going forward? I say go forward with that same boot and arrogance, if you want to call it that. If we can't get a fair deck, we ain't playing, but nobody ain't playing either. That's one approach. But the other approach is this. And I think the question was specific. What are you prepared to do to some extent? What I am doing is what I've just said I'm doing. Empowering people economically. If I empower my people, then they will have more freedom to make decisions. You make a joke. When you depend on a quote-unquote government for your livelihood, and that government says to you, if I see you at a political meeting tomorrow morning, you're looking for a job. If you don't vote and send me your photograph voting for me, tomorrow morning you're looking for a job. And not only your government is doing it, but the allies in the private sector. Can you imagine the impact of that? How do you counter that? You counter that by empowering your people to understand, first and foremost, you ain't got to send nobody your photo. And secondly, you already have multiple incomes or multiple streams of income. So if they cut the one off, you can still survive. Empowerment is important. Empowerment is important. If you economically empower your people, they're going to understand that they could wait for a plot of land instead of taking $40,000 now. As a matter of fact, they might be brought to a place where they can buy their lands and don't even have to wait for it. And so when it comes as a bonus. I tell people I like talk hard, and I just talk hard to anybody. Not because I think I'm better than anybody, or I'm all powerful, or I'm a god, but because I know that I've taken steps to empower myself and to empower my children, especially. And so, what else y'all gonna do me? What else y'all gonna do me? I like to tell people is when my schoolmates, my friends were hustling to squat on land, and they were hustling and waiting on the PPP government to get them land and so on. And I'm telling you, this is since in the 90s into the early 2000s. I said to them, yeah, I'll try there. Me in waiting for no woman for no land, me squatting for no land because me able to waste my energy. But I guarantee y'all, I will buy land, I will acquire land in a shorter time than the government will take to give me land. I was in my teens and early 20s perhaps during that time. And I bought my first plot of land in my early 20s. I could tell you what the price was then at that time too. I ain't gonna tell you how I was getting money. But like I said, even while I was at school, I was engaged in economic activities. My focus was always on self-employment and self-empowerment. And so I bought my first plot of land before I got to age 25. And so nobody had to come and use land acquisition, for example, as a means of getting my support for anything. Don't want to have the chart, you can't use the one. I was self-employed, so nobody could tell me about dismissal if I don't do what they want. Don't want to have the chart. And as a father and a husband, I encourage my wife to say, you need to apply. I might get, you might inherit, I might inherit, and so on. But at the end of the day, you must have something to pass to the next generation. And I held her hand and I took her through a process to ensure that she got something that she could cash you on, that she could pass on to her next generation. I did likewise to myself. And it is the same thing that I have done for me, and I've done for my family, and I've done for close friends and so on, that I intend to do with these people who I'm saying we're going to work like bees. I mean, there are people who can approach my children and try to induce them with things. But I sit so firm in my belief in them that I know that they're not going to be easily induced. That is the strength I want us to build in our communities, among our people. That is how I intend to move forward, even to confront a broken electoral system. Until we empower our people, we are going to always hold the nasty end of the stick. Not some of our people, but all of our people. Until our people stop looking at their quote-unquote leaders and believing that they are enjoying the best that life has to offer while they're sucking salt, we will not beat the system. Everybody has to understand, everybody has to believe in the cause. Everybody has to see that what they're fighting for doesn't only benefit the leaders of the quote-unquote revolution, but everybody that is involved in the revolution. It's 30 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. The lines are made up. Let me play some more voice notes.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. A blessed Tuesday morning. Continue your good work. I don't know what's going on in the PNCR, but it seems to me like everybody just looking out for themselves. If you have a people interest at heart, you wouldn't be that because you they didn't get to go to parliament, you're going to resign. So what happened to your commitment? It's self. Everybody is self, self, self. You know, it's only 12 seats. Mr. Jordan is right. He said it's 12 seats. And Mr. Jordan said, I think it's last week that some, it was just an opinion. Some should serve 2.5 years and then rotate it to another 2.5 years. But people are just not really candid and real. Sad.
Good. At 11 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, I'm still your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. You tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. And remember, this session was intended for you to offload. Share your thoughts with us. What do you think about the election? How did it impact you, or has it affected you? Call you on. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brother Amsterdam. I want to agree with the voice note just now. In your case, I think Dr. Hines should do a 2 year and give you, Kadaki, one a seat in Parliament for the last 3 years. To groom you. You're still young, vibrant, educated, and you got good potential. I think he should do a 2 year and give you the 3 year. What do you think about that? Thank you, Brother Amsterdam, for thinking. Okay.
Thank you for that call. And thank you for that suggestion. And like I said previously, whatever the party decides is fine by me. But I'm not the one who would sit back and wait for the party's decision or what the party decides. I will continue to work for my people. I will continue to work among my people. And so, regardless of what the party decides, I am here, I will be here, and I will continue to be here for my people. Good? So if Dr. Hines chooses to stay 2 days, 2 years, 2 months, 5 years, that's a matter for Dr. Hines and the party. I will continue to work for the people. Like I say, I ain't nothing WPA. I ain't leaving WPA. WPA is what has brought me into the realm of politics. WPA's politics is what I identify with. If I leave WPA, I'm done with politics. In the sense that I won't join another political party. But I'll continue to do my social work, which is what politics should be about. Social work, serving your people, empowering them. Montego is asking the same question I just answered. You will not resign if you ain't get a seat. Buy a barn with me seat. I mean, I got friends that say maybe Kidaki ain't got nothing behind it. But this me seat. I don't have to wait for somebody to create a seat for me. I can create my own seats. I'm accustomed to doing that. I've done that. Good. So again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Thank you for your recommendations and so on. I'm sure there are people from the party listening, and they will decide if your recommendations make sense or not. Good? But time will tell. I'll tell you, no, don't go there. Let's proceed with the program. 8 minutes to 9 o'clock. 8 minutes to 9 o'clock. You know, what people don't understand is a lot of these things are labeled as coveted because it is so few and so many persons who would like to get the benefit of it. Parliamentary seats are coveted seats or coveted positions.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam.
Right? Why sit around and wait for a seat when you could create a seat? Yes, Umi. I always tell them that to say, hello, with me, man. I go, hold on. Yeah, it's good to have a light-hearted moment sometimes. Politics can be all serious, and you can't be all serious, and so on and so forth. But I maintain the listen. I don't know how many of you knew that Red Thread women's organization came out of the bosom, I want to say, of the WP. Karen D'Souza, Andai, Bonita Harris, a whole host of women, Jocelyn Dow, a whole host of women who were front and personal and in this struggle and have suffered in this struggle and perhaps have gained recognition in this struggle of WPA over the years. After one of those elections where the WPA perhaps was quote unquote wiped out, those women decided, listen, the politics that we are engaged in, the politics of this society, is not lifting people out of poverty. It is not doing anything for empowering women. We will redirect our energies and we will form Red Thread. And we will empower women. And those of you who have been following the work of Red Thread would know that there was a Red Thread Press, which was doing publications to women and anybody who needed to publish articles and books and so on and so forth, and they were getting some amount of income from that. In order to set up the Red Thread Press, they had to train women, so women were empowered through knowledge, through skills, and so they were using those skills to now gain an income for their family, and that was empowerment for them. Red Thread trained women across this country, give women across this country skills of varying degrees. They gave them business support. They started small businesses to them. Battered women, they empowered them not only with knowledge, but they provided a safe space to them and all of that. And so those sisters I'm talking about, at some point in their lives decided that we ain't gonna be in the forefront of this politics, this rat race in this country. But we will not give up on our responsibility. Call a mute and hold the line, please. We will not give up on our responsibility to empower, in that instance, women. Call a mute and hold the line, please. The other option is for me to disconnect the call. Right? We will not give up on working for women, working for citizens, empowering women. As a matter of fact, through the work of Red Thread, I remember them having a campaign that women's work is work too, or housework is work too. And they had a very successful campaign for people to respect the fact that homemakers are working too, and they should be respected and they should be compensated and stuff like that. Good. So you don't have to be of service to your country only because you are in parliament or only because you're in a political party and stuff like that. You can choose to be in, you can choose to be out, or you can choose to be right into horses at the same time. Call you on.
Yeah, good morning, Kudaki. Good morning to the listening and viewing public. I just want to commend you for doing what you are doing. And you are not the type of person I see that gets, annoyed because you didn't get to go in parliament. I mean, WPA, Dr. Ainz is good to be in parliament, and I'm glad he's in parliament. So I just want to commend you because I've seen that persons in the APNU, or they get vexed because they didn't get to go in parliament and they resign and all them things. I just want to tell you to stay the course. You're doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I like the idea of Golden Boy. Golden Boy said many of them should start their own business because this is what they're turning parliament into. Yeah, I like that. That was some serious shit, Golden Boy. Right? That was some serious shit. Like I said, the work continues regardless of from where. The work continues. If you ain't get to go to the table, create your own table. You ain't got to click down none, You just got to create the table that you're comfortable working at. So y'all don't worry yourself. It's 2 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, and like I said, I am honoring my time. I'm respecting my time. We have a long journey ahead of us, and so we can't burn ourselves out. We can't burn ourselves out. I'll tell you quite frankly, since I shifted the program to this 7 o'clock start, I can spend a little longer in bed now, I get a little more relaxation and so on. And I hope to hold on to that. And when we finish at 9, I try to get as much done as I can. And so I'm going to try to stick to that discipline. But I hope you, or some of you, if not most of you or all of you, were able to really give vent to how you feel following the elections. I hope I've been able to impart knowledge to you. I hope I've been able to encourage you. Because in this time, this difficult time, when people believe that all hopes are gone, people start despairing and so on, we got to lend each other a shoulder. And we have to show that there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel. Has to. But how do we know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel? We have to be prepared to go through the tunnel. Don't give up. Do not give up. Embrace your brother. Embrace your sister. Embrace your neighbor. Embrace your entire community. Embrace your country. We have work to do, and we can do it together. Like the bees work together, I intend to work together with my people to empower them. We might start in Buxton, but very quickly I expect to have a hive across this nation. And when I say hive, I ain't talking physical bees, but people gathering together to work for the economic empowerment. What's up? You're going to hear more of the ideas of bees as we go forth. Application forms and so on are going to be out there soon enough. We're working on our social media page and social media presence and so on and so forth. It's a movement, and it isn't necessarily a political movement. It's an economic empowerment movement that might bring political fruits. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day. See you tomorrow for another program of Guyanese Morning Time. Mr. Jordan has to tell me if he's back in Guyana and if he's going to be able to continue the Thursday program. And I'm serving notice early. It's likely to be, I'm thinking my head economic hour. So we ain't giving you more than 60 minutes going forward, Mr. Jordan, right? Because we have to keep that time constraint now. And I am sure that you understand that, we want to do 3 hours for 5 years. When we come down to the wire, we could increase the time. But for now, let's keep it tight. Wayne Caesar, I think Wayne Caesar, over to you. I did invite you to reach out to me. Let's talk about what part you can play on Camps TV going forward. So, and those of you, if you have program ideas, feel free to hit me up on 6225933, and let's see how we can work together to keep our people informed and build their self-esteem at least. Goodbye. Much love. Tough love is love too.